Welcome back, and what an episode we have in store for you this week. Not just one, but 2 room reveals. Us going to visit YouTubers, you've got some recipes, you've got some banter. It's definitely one to watch. And there's dogs. Occasionally, as the editor, hands up, I do forget to film the odd bit here and there. So there's a couple of moments where I will pop up and give a couple of explanations on things because I forgot to film them. But I was having fun. So put your feet up, get comfy, and enjoy this week's episode. Good morning. Merlot, good morning. No, you're watching telly?
There's no limit to how
Nanna is coming today, and Nanna will be bringing gin, and Nanna will be bringing treats. Nanna! Nanna!
Hello there, babes. Oh, dear.
Good morning, Mother.
Good morning, honey.
Oh. Good girl.
Hello, Gin.
Hello, sweetheart.
How are you doing, Gin?
Oh, he's been racing down the back of the car.
We're saying goodbye to Merlot for 2 nights today. We're off somewhere tomorrow, so he's going to go and stay with Nanna and Grandpa. Be good for Grandma and Grandpa. Thank you for taking Merlot.
Pleasure.
Be
Enjoy
careful.
your stay. Yeah.
Don't stay still for too long.
No.
Have you not seen other YouTubers?
Yes.
If their mothers stay still for too long, they sell them for renovations.
Rubbish.
Bye-bye. Bye, Merlot. Good morning. We are all packed and ready this morning. Merlot's at Grandma's. He's had a nice sleepover evening. Flora is in the back of the car. Hi, Flora. And we are off on a journey. We're going about 3.5 hours inland, and we're going to go and visit Tony and Jane from Not Quite a Chateau DIY channel. In the end, it took us about 4 hours driving to get to Tony and Jane's. We arrived, we were given a very nice welcome drink. I had a huge glass of wine. We finished this, and then Jane drove us to Patrick and Stuart's. We had a very enjoyable couple of hours there, and we got to see some of the rooms.
Have you got radiator envy?
Oh, I've got radiator envy.
You've got the heating now.
I've got panel and chandelier envy. God, look at that. Look at the dog pictures. Wow. Stuart was busy editing, I know the feeling, but we did get to spend quite a bit of time with Patrick. I think somebody's enjoying the special attention.
This was 11 o'clock in the morning.
Good morning, Flora. Did you enjoy your sleepover at Tony and Jane's?
So we stayed here last night at Tony and Jane's Gite, beautiful little place in a town called Lignières in the department of Clare. About 3.5, 4 hours away from home. But yeah, a nice trip and a nice catch up with them.
It's absolutely beautiful here, and it's really strange because I'm sure it's like when people come to visit us, it's like you know it already, or parts of it already, because you've seen it on YouTube. What a lovely thing to have the river just at the bottom of your garden. It's really quite deceptive because you're in like a town, but it feels like you're in the middle of the countryside. It's absolutely amazing here. Now what I'll do, I'll put a little link in the bio to Tony and Jane's channel, or if you would like to come and stay here, I will put a link below in the bio for you to go and have a look at. Flora?
But unfortunately, we didn't record that much of last night because we were just actually having a good old chat, catch up and having great fun. But thank you, Tony and Jane. Really good night.
I don't know who these people are that own this, but we passed this on the way and we've made a point of just stopping for a second so you can see this. Look at that. You have got turrets, you've got there's a bit of everything thrown at that, isn't there? Just to give you some scope on how big this thing is, this looks like the back end of it here, and then it just keeps going on and on and on and on. Wouldn't want to pay the electric or the heating bill on that. It's absolutely massive. Another quick stop, another beautiful chateau. If only we could pinch that one turret, then
Have to rename the channel.
yeah, we'd have to rename the blooming channel. 4.5 hour drive. Something, we've been in the car a long time. My bum is numb. But we are now at my parents' to pick up Merlot. We didn't take Merlot because although we love him deeply,
He's a little shit.
and he whittles everywhere. Where's your Merlot?
Look at me teeth.
Where's Merlot?
Look at me teeth.
Thank you for looking after your grand dog. Bon voyage, father.
Yeah.
So this is my normal editing area setup where I'll probably be here for 7-8 hours pumping out a weekly video, and then all the things that go with it, like the thumbnails and the little adverts and the wording. I normally sit here with 2 hot water bottles and 2 dogs because it's a really cold, dark room. Yeah, it can be a bit depressing at times. The thing that I think after hour 6, where I'm on the sofa, in particular my right shoulder blade really actually starts to hurt me quite a lot, and I think it's just where I'm leaning at an angle. This is co-editor number 1 who likes to steal the hot water bottle, and obviously co-editor number 2. About 2 weeks ago, while we were out and about in the van, I finally thought, you know what, I'm going to get a desk and I'm going to get a proper office chair just to be a little bit more comfier while I'm editing videos, because we've worked out now that I have spent over 6 months of my life in that living room on that sofa editing videos. So I've decided to spend a couple of days making a bit of an office, which is going to be really nice for me because I'll have somewhere where all of the wires and all of the stuff can go. What I've done yesterday, I cleared out this room a bit. This room is a bit of a nothing room. It's between like what you could call our dining room at one side of the house, and it's like kind of on the way to nowhere to our bedrooms. It's next to the road on our side of the house. You could call it the front entrance hall. Yeah, this is all of the original decoration from when we moved in. There's a couple of questionable stains. Yeah, it's not a nice room. It's not anywhere that you really want to spend any time in. This is an understairs cupboard, which is a bit of it's a dump it and run cupboard, basically. It's full of paperwork and, yeah, you know, when you get people coming around and you think, oh, I'll just quickly shove that under there and shut the door. It's like that. I'm just going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to clean the woodwork. I'm not going to paint it. I am going to paint the walls because we have some paint left over from the dark green bathroom. And I thought, well, I'll just use that. You know, just make it a little bit more visually appealing than, I don't know, it's not bad, but it wouldn't be my choice, and it probably was somebody's choice a good few years ago. Wallpaper. There's a lot of wallpaper in this house. There's a lot of wallpaper in France, but yeah, I'm going to try and basically paint this. I have been a bit of a pikey and I've not moved all of the furniture out of here. I've just moved it into the middle of the room just so it's a bit quicker. Let's do this. Office a go-go. Okay, this is going really well. I've now got all of the cutting in done. God, there was some cutting in up there. I've got, well, yeah, all of that done. I've also started on this wall. I'm losing light because this side of the house, it's not very light. Admire, if you wish, the original light fitting for this room. Original mother of pearl. 7 o'clock at night. I'm gonna do this. Purr. Getting somewhere, definitely, but I've stumbled across a little issue. I've actually run out of paint. This is highly absorbent wallpaper. As I say, I've managed to do all the cutting in. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a bit walls. I'm quite pleased with that. Gonna stop now, go make dinner. And just in case you were wondering what this evening's dinner was in the Butcher household, it is lemon sole with a fondant potato, jus, and some asparagus. Yum, yum. Good afternoon. I am back in here today. Went and got some more paint yesterday. As when I came in here yesterday, you could see truly just how patchy this was. Yep. That's patchy. Hello, Merlot. If you ever happen to be painting a French wallpapered wall, just remember, double if not triple up on paint. I have a little bit over here to do. I've got obviously the patchiness to do. I'm going to crack on and get this done. I'm not going to film it because it's actually quite an awkward room to film in with all of the furniture in the middle. So I'll give you one last look and then a completed look of the paint. It currently looks like this. Da, 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 da. Whilst the paint's drying, I'm currently now going around and I'm cleaning the woodwork around the windows and around the door. And wow, look at that. You can see where I sprayed. Yummy. A little while later, I have finished painting, although I have still kept the paint out in case anything needs touching up. There we go. Some of the furniture that's in here needs to stay in here just for a little while longer until we've got some space in the maison de maître for it. There is this beautiful Chesterfield sofa that is eventually going to go into the sitting room in the big house. There is also this lovely unit and mirror. That's also going to go into the big house, but again, until things are up and running and ready, it's just going to stay in here for now. I'm calling in my handyman next. Been into the storage area, barn outside, and pulled out these shelves that we used to have in a bedroom in our old house. They're really lovely shelves, but yeah, they're a bit mouldy and a bit where they've been in storage, so I'm just giving them a clean. There's my handyman. Hi. The handyman is doing an excellent job of putting up the shelving. Yesterday, while we were out shopping and getting more paint, we also picked up this 3-track lighting to replace this beautiful mother of pearl lamp. If you are wondering, we may end up selling this beautiful original light fitting on maybe our new enterprise.
Well, what people could do is, if they want it, they could probably send in a bid for it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I thought they could go onto our possible new venture website where we sell goods like this called Bodge It and Leg It. Good morning. This morning I am actually making something for dinner this evening. Just takes a little while to prep, not as long as you might think. First things first, wash your hands. So this is a side dish to go with some belly pork that we're having this evening. You will need about 1 kilo of potatoes, 2 pears, salt, pepper, and you will also need about 250 grams of butter. You also want a sheet of parchment paper and 2 oven-proof dishes that you can stack together like that to go in the oven. Peel your potatoes. I'm going to save you fast forwarding this. I'm just going to peel them. And as if by magic, potatoes peeled. Next thing you're going to do, you are going to peel your pears. What a great pair. Again, I'm just going to peel them. Use an apple corer and take the core out of your pears. Halve your pears. Lovely. Preheat your oven to 160 degrees. I will show that in Fahrenheit at the bottom of the page. Take a small pan, get your butter in there and give it some seasoning. Melt your butter in the pan. Just want to melt that down. You don't want it to brown or anything like that, so just keep an eye on it for a couple of minutes. Turn the heat off now. And yeah, you end up with a pan of glossy butter. My next step is to thinly slice all of this. Yes, I could use a mandolin, but I don't have one, believe it or not. So I'm going to spare you the time and bother of watching me slice everything up. I'm just going to slice it and then show you. And as if by magic, everything is sliced. What you want to try and do is make sure everything is sliced thinly, and if you can, try and make it the same size. Try and get it uniformed. Anyway, 2 pots. I've got one for my potatoes and I've got one for my pears. You could chuck this all into one pot, but I want to layer this and make it a bit special. So, in with the potatoes and in with the pears. When you're doing this, try and make sure that your pears are firm. If they are not firm, then they will just go sloppy. I've got those in the bowls. I can get rid of my chopping boards, give my hands a quick wash. I'm going to take my 2 containers. One of them I'm going to line with parchment paper, baking paper, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to cut this down because it's absolutely mahoosive. You do want a little bit of overhang when you do this, because eventually you're going to want to pick this up like that with the potatoes and everything in there. So, butter. This has cooled down, but it is still melted. I can't show you without throwing the butter all over the floor. So, I'm going to pop a little bit in with the pears, and I'm going to put the rest in with the potatoes. I'm just popping on some gloves for this because I don't like the feel of anything getting under my fingernails, even though my hands are very clean, and this can get a little bit messy. I'm going to mix my butter in with my potatoes, and I'm going to mix my butter in with my pears. You just want to move everything around and get all of the potatoes coated in butter. Same as well with the pears. Once everything is mixed together, I think I can, like so, and like so. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put all of this into this dish, but I'm going to layer it and I'm going to make sure it's pressed down. You want to get it really into the corners as well. You want to make sure that your potatoes are separated rather than just in chunks. It is quite a time-consuming thing to do this, especially with no mandolin. However, the results are lovely. I served this on New Year's Eve for our parents, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. But it's also a nice one for dinner parties and things like that. We're just having it as a special for a Friday night. In here, I've got a lovely layer of potatoes. Now I'm going to swap, and I'm going to do a lovely layer of pears. Done a layer of pears, just pushing it down gently with my hand. Going in with another layer of potatoes. Just want to keep layering. You may have a few leftover potatoes. There's no wastage in this house. It either goes to hens or it goes to the compost bin. Everything is in here. It's nicely layered and it's all compacted down. I'm going to take the offcut of my parchment paper and I'm just going to cut a little bit off it, just make it a little square. I'm going to pop that on the top of there. Take your other oven-proof dish, pop it on the top and just press it down. If you press it down too hard, you'll see the butter all ooze up out the sides. This is now ready to go in the oven. It's going in at 160, blah, 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 Fahrenheit at the bottom, but it's going in for 2 hours. Yeah, 2 hours. I'm going to pop this in. I'm going to bugger off and do something else. I'm going to come back after an hour and just have a little check on it, make sure it's all right. But yeah, there we go. An hour later and I'm back to come and check on how the potato and pear dish is doing. Look at that, that's bubbling away nicely. It smells amazing of, ironically, butter. Gonna come back in another hour. Two hours later and it's time to take this out of the oven. And this is what it looks like. I'm going to leave that on the side to cool for a while. Once it's completely cold, I'm going to put it in the fridge, and I'm going to leave it in the fridge until later on this evening, and then you'll see what I'm going to do with it. Good evening, I am back and it's dinner time. First thing I've done is I've turned my oven on to preheat to 200 degrees and I'm about to wash my hands. Hands are clean, hands are dry. I have my potatoes from earlier that have been chilling in the fridge. I'm going to take off, if I can, the top. Ooh. And I'm going to pull the potatoes out using the paper. I'm going to take a sharp knife and I'm going to cut off the edges where it's just a little bit crispy. And I'm going to divide my potato slab up into 8 rectangles. I have a non-stick oven dish. I'm going to pop these into there and I'm going to pop them on their sides. I'm then going to season them again. And before they go into the oven, they will look like this. Look at those layers. And into the oven they go. Whilst they're cooking, I have some belly pork that I have scored, salted, and I have ready in the air fryer. I have some spinach and some garlic and some lemon, and I'm going to saute that, and then I will be making a blue cheese sauce. 20 minutes later, my potatoes are just about ready to come out the oven. My belly pork's finished cooking, sauteed my spinach, and I've got my sauce on the go. Potatoes are going to look like this. They're going to be lovely and crispy, not burnt. And there we have it. We have our crispy belly pork. We've got our sauteed spinach with garlic, our blue cheese sauce, and our pear and potato layers. The pear in with the potatoes is going to pair really well with the pork. See what I did there? So yeah, there's something amazing that you can make for a Friday night dinner. So I think it's just about time for a room reveal. But before I show you this room reveal, just take a minute to appreciate when you do a room reveal and it's an upstairs room, exactly just how many stairs you have to lug furniture up. Before I go in here, let's just have a quick look back at what this room did look like when we moved in. And are we ready? So what do you think? I know some of you will either love it or hate it. I know that for a lot of you, my decorating style is very much like Marmite or Vegemite. You either love it or you hate it. But go bold or go home. I'll walk you around and talk you through a couple of different things in the room. To let you know, it is 11 o'clock on Saturday morning. This side of the house doesn't get as much light. If I came up here probably 6 o'clock in the evening, this room, if it was sunny, this room would be just filled with like golden sunlight. So actually I filmed this at the wrong time of day, but sometimes needs must. Anywho, we have the cork gold wall panels. I was quite proud of that. We did find the wardrobe in the end. Mr. Butcher has had a little bit of a play around with this because it just came with shelves, but now it has a wardrobe rail. The chaise, we bought this a couple of years ago off Facebook Marketplace for about €200, and it has been in our side of the house for quite a while. So it's finally nice to see it in this room. The mirror was under €100 in the second-hand shop Troc, and it was painted. I think that looks pretty impressive. The bedside table lamps and this one over here all came from Troc, again a good couple of years ago, and have been in storage. The two framed champagne pictures are actually old shopping bags that I cut up and put into frames. This little picture up here, it's actually on porcelain, and it was made by one of my grandmother's friends many, many years ago. And the last thing to point out to you is, of course, as with every room, a piece of the original wallpaper that was in here. So what do you think? Comment below. We do read your comments. Sometimes I don't always get the time to respond to them, but we do read them. So yeah, we'd love to hear what your thoughts are on the yellow room, or if you want to, you can call it the champagne room. It's got to have a little bit of a theme. While I'm up here, we had somebody ask last week, I think, how many more rooms that we had to do. I'm on the first floor. The yellow room or the champagne room is through there. The green bathroom is through there. We still have to do this corridor. Also behind me, we've got a cupboard which needs to be all kitted out as the linen cupboard. It's dark in there. So yeah, we've got this hallway to do. We've got the room that I will next be working on opposite the blue room down here. That's still to do. We do have the whole of the upper floor to do, but we're going to hold up on that for this year at least. Then there's the staircase. This will definitely need some work, as where we've brought furniture and plasterboard up, it's, yeah, knackered the wallpaper. The wallpaper was old anyway, and it's printed to look like it's stone. Yeah, we've got some work to do here, light fittings, things like that. And then coming down the stairs, where you get to the bottom, you've got the little utility room down there. So we've got all the hallway up and down here. That's all to do. This is just mainly cosmetic work, like painting the ceiling. There's a few places where the ceiling does need patching. And then we'll have through in here, which will eventually be the breakfast room. It's now currently storage, but there is some work that is to be done on this room because yeah, the ceiling in here, I think, is one of the worst that's happened so far. Just to try and give you your bearings: breakfast room, kitchen, stairs, cloakroom. This is the dining room, but that will turn into a sitting room, so that's just a case of moving furniture around. I say that lugging furniture around here is a massive pain in the bum. Downstairs where we've got this room, we did this in a real rush because Nick's parents were coming to stay one year. We do have some bits of cosmetic work to do in here. There's a big panel down here that needs to be changed, and the ceiling up here is a bit patchy because the rain leaked through the double doors upstairs, ran into the yellow room above, and then came down through the ceiling. Yay. So we're taking the top floor off the list for this year. When you kind of look at it, we technically don't have that much left to do. Ish. But don't worry, we're not going away for a while yet, because once all of this is finished, there's then things that we'd like to do to our side of the house to have a little bit more nicer life. Yeah, new kitchen at our side of the house eventually. Oh, that would be so good. So yeah, there's plenty more left to renovate, not necessarily in this big house, but yeah, I think we're getting there. So I guess it's time to crack on and edit this week's mammoth video for you. But you need one more room reveal. Welcome to the new editing suite. Well, I'll tell you what, isn't it amazing what 2 days and a lick of paint can do to a room? I have got a little paraffin heater in here. It is quite cold at this side of the house. Yes, we do have a heating system, but we choose consciously not to turn it on because it costs so much money to run. Sometimes those are the choices that you have to make. Yes, there's a beautiful heating system, but because it's in an old house, it doesn't pump out a lot of heat, you know. So yeah, paraffin heater. Over here in this little space, we have this tiny little bureau. I was quite proud of this. I pulled this out of the back of a skip at an M-house for €5, and it fits perfectly in there. As I've said, some of this furniture will be moving out and going into the Maison de Maitre in the future, but until then, I am so pleased that I have a designated workspace with a desk and a chair with lumbar support rather than sitting on the sofa. Yeah, take a picture of that. I have pulled out some of my bits of tat, but don't worry, I'm sure in a few weeks there will be more of my tat filling this room. So, what do you think about room reveal number 2? Wow. You know, you weren't even expecting that. To be honest, I don't think I was, or Nick was either. Comment below, let us know what you think. It is now 25 to 12. I need to get my arse into gear and I need to edit this video.
We're not doing wine of the week this week. It's a Saturday night and we're out at our local bar, the Fun Bar in Saint-Jean-d'Angely, where it's fish and chip night with Mr. T's Frittery. Happy Mother's Day. And we'll see you next week.